Today, I'll be cooking a cuisine that I have never had once before in my life, and I'll be following this video for the most authentic Jamaican oxtail stew recipe I could find online. We've got 3 steps to make this right. First, we need to marinate the meat with the flavors of the island. Second, we need to sear the meat to develop that flavor deeper. Third, we need to stew this meat until it falls off the bone. Start with the aromatics. We've got a green bell pepper and a red onion. We're gonna dice these up, and these will provide a nice base for our stew. Next, we got some garlic. We're gonna mince these so that hopefully they just kind of melt into the stew after a few hours. We got some scallions. This surprised me the most. And we got some celery. We're gonna slice these up. Now let's move on to the spice mix. Start with dry rosemary, 1 tablespoon. Dry basil, 1 tablespoon. Allspice, about a tablespoon. Gochugaru, any pepper flake would do, 2 tablespoons. Nutmeg, about 1 teaspoon. Baking powder to tenderize the meat, about a teaspoon. Cumin, about a tablespoon. Some salt to taste. Hold on, why is there soy sauce in my Jamaican oxtail? Well, that's because after slavery in Jamaica, the British Empire still needed workers to work the plantations, so they imported 40,000 plus Chinese indentured servants straight into Jamaica, and they brought along with them Chinese flavors such as soy sauce, ginger, scallions that eventually incorporated with the rest of Jamaican culture. Add the aromatics back in with the spice mix and mix the oxtail thoroughly so we get ready for step 2. Sear this meat, get it nice and brown. Pan is hot. Of the island coming in here. Start to glaze up a little bit at the bottom from that soy sauce. While this stews, let me hit you with some more lore about Jamaican oxtail. In 1655, the British rolled up to the island of Jamaica and said, "Damn girl, you fine as hell, let me holla at ya." So they hollered at Jamaica for 300 plus years, and in the meantime, they brought over enslaved Africans to work the plantations they built there. What the British soon realized is that if you don't feed your slaves, they're gonna die. So they started giving them the worst types of beef that they were eating. The literal ass end of the beef, the oxtail. Turns out the Jamaicans realized that if you stew the oxtail for many hours, it becomes absolutely delicious. 3.5 hours later, finishing touches. We got some ketchup for that body, and we add some apple cider vinegar to help cut through that oxtail fat. Salt to taste. We're gonna plate and ready for me bone glad. You gotta have a taste test. It's just delicious. Flavorful. The oil carries so much of that spice flavor in there. I gotta see how this compares to a real Jamaican place now. I went out to Jamaica, Queens, and picked up what I assume is probably going to be more authentic than the oxtail stew that I made. It definitely looks much darker. It's got more of a gravy to it, and give it a smell. It smells more like ketchup. Definitely more of a sweeter smell. Not as much spiciness. I think my gochugaru that I put in there probably made it taste a lot different than what it really should be. Something I'm beginning to notice is that the tenderness is about the same, which I'm not really surprised. If you stew oxtail for a certain amount of time, it's gonna get to the same tenderness. Flavor-wise, not as spicy as the one I made. Definitely a little sweeter. From a scale of 1 to 10 and how closely I was able to recreate Jamaican oxtail, I give my version a solid 6.5.